How's it going, everybody? It's Blaine back here again with a new deck profile for Solo YGO, Yu-Gi-Oh! That thing. Today I'm going to be doing a SUBTERROR profile, one of my all-time favorite decks. I actually crack jokes how I'm a living SUBTERROR because I work in a coal mine down underground. So let's get started. We're going to start with the monsters today. First one, main three of the main man of the deck. SUBTERROR Guru. You don't want three of him. He's the control aspect. You flip summon him, he adds a SUBTERROR card other than himself from deck to hand. And then along with that, he could quick effect if you have another SUBTERROR card. Just him and another thing to flip face down, which will sometimes benefit you if the opponent doesn't have anything, but you got another card on, another monster on field. You can flip them both face down and special summon one of your SUBTERROR behemoths. I only run two in this build. You'll find out a little bit later. But you can also use it to stop opponents' plays, you know. Next card up, the other three of in the monsters. Going to be looking at the best girl of the deck, SUBTERROR Fiendess. 3 of. She is a hand trap in here. She just omni-negate, doesn't care what it's happening as long as you got a SUBTERROR monster to flip face down. She be saying no and flipping your monster face down, which helps you in the long run. Also, she got another niche effect that once per turn you can flip another card you control that's face up, another monster, and special summon a SUBTERROR from hand or graveyard in face up or face down defense position, which I usually opt for the face down. That way I can flip them face up and get their additional effects. Next up, gonna go to the one-ofs of the in archetype. We got Nemesis Archer. She's good when you flip something face down with that Guru in the middle of battle phase, and you just attack with her and you have another SUBTERROR face up. Send it to deck. Shuffle it in. We got a Behemoth Umastrix. He's just good for, he got a big body, 2000 attack, 2700 defense, but he's a flip banish. It's always fun banishing the opponent's stuff. And one that I'm honestly thinking about changing out for a different one, but I've gotten good use out of. It's SUBTERROR Behemoth Ultramaphus. Get it focused. There we go. When he flips, he just flips everything else on the field face down. Just good control. Stops opponents' effects. And the Behemoths, they also have a once per turn effect each to flip themselves face down. So you can go battle phase, attack them, and then flip them back face down to get their effects. Next up, gonna be hand traps or various cards. I guess this one's not really a hand trap, but Lord of the Heavenly Prison. We run a lot of back row. Heavenly Prison, just great for that. Also, if you decide you want to summon him, you can get his effect to put a spell or trap on the field. We run Ghost Bell. It's always good to have something against graveyards. One of my niche and one of my favorite hand traps out there, Heavenly Zephyr Miradora. He's got a big butt. He can't be stopped. He's going to summon himself and then negate something on the field. He's not going to be stopped there. And then for the end of hand traps and all that, I got 2 Effect Veilers. Effect Veiler, you know what it does. It's a great card. From there, we will proceed to the monster, or the spell cards. Not monsters, just got done with those. So we'll go with the first 3 of, I believe it's the only one in spells. Hidden City. It's the field spell. It searches out the SUBTERROR cards. You activate it, add a SUBTERROR. Once per turn, you can change a face down defense position monster you control. It's got to be a SUBTERROR. But you change a face down SUBTERROR to face up, proc its effect, and you can first turn set Guru, flip it face up, add another card, and then also along with that, once per turn during the battle phase, if one of your monsters is getting attacked, you can switch one from face down to face up position and negate the attack. You can also opt to not negate the attack, but why wouldn't you? Next up, Newer card, a couple sets ago. Terrors of the Hidden City. It's a 2 of. Unfortunately, it's not searchable by anything in the archetype, just like the Hidden City. Doesn't make sense because it is obviously in archetype with it. This one's really niche. It is pretty niche, but it's really neat also. Prevents your opponents from targeting your face down defense position monsters. This would have been great back in the days of was it cross out designator? Yeah, way back in then. Would have been great back then. But also, if your monsters that you control are flip face up, they gain 1500 attack and defense. That's not saying that it doesn't stack. So if you got 2 of these, they're gaining 3000 attack and defense, and it's a permanent gain. Now, when they flip face down, obviously it goes away. But also, if it's destroyed while it's in the spell and trap zone, you could target a monster in your graveyard and then special summon it face down. So, say your guru got destroyed by battle or something like that, this gets popped, voila, you got him back on field. Next up is going to be SUBTERROR Cave Clash. It's generally only a 1 of. It's searchable, and you just use this usually to recur your Fienduses in graveyard. It's the way. It is the way. Next, gonna run Called By. Always good to have. Sol and Luna. It's a good card for the deck. Basically, you select one monster on each side of the field, one you control, one the opponent controls, and then you change it to either face up or face down defense position based on the position it was on field.
Got bought out during Castira.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. I'm glad I got my copies.
I don't think it's on any play, but people thought they were going to use it.
Well, I use it. It works well in this deck because it procs the SUBTERROR effects, plus it can shut down opponents' plays. Obviously a terraforming, because Hidden City's not searchable off of anything in archetype. Next up, we're going to be looking at a Pot of Duality. The deck doesn't special summon often. It just doesn't. It doesn't care about that. Your control, normal summon deck, just get your free card. And then the last 2, specifically my own niche thing, Super Poly. You'll see that I got a couple of targets in the extra deck a little bit later. Super Poly is just always going to be powerful. Next up, we're going to go to the traps, because this is technically a trap deck, but I don't know, I'd say probably have about as many traps as I do monsters. First trap, 3 copies of SUBTERROR Final Battle. It is a soft OPT trap card that sets itself face down after you attack, or after you use it, not attack. And it's got 4 different effects, where 2 of them, basically you either change a set SUBTERROR to face up, and then or you change a face up one to face down. The effect I tend to use the absolute most, the 3rd effect, you basically make the attack and defense of one SUBTERROR monster on the field become equal to the combined amount. So say Guru, it's 1600, 1800, he becomes 34 until the end of turn. Great for battle. And then the last one is very good in even heavier control variants than mine, where the activated effects of SUBTERROR cards can't be negated. So say they try to imperm, they hit you with an effect Veiler, an Ash Blossom, anything like that, or even like a Forbidden Droplet or Skill Drain. You flip this, activate that, your SUBTERRORs are still doing their thing. Such a great trap. Next, I got 2 Dogmatica Punishments. It's just always good to have something to pop. Obviously, we're going to have that inst in there to get a double pop. Solemn Strike. It's just fun telling the opponents no. Let's be real. Who doesn't like telling the opponent no? A new trap for the deck that I've thrown in there recently. Destructive Daruma Karma Cannon. It just flips everything on the field face down, and then if they have anything face up, like a Towers monster like Raid Raptor Ultimate Falcon, or they got Link monsters, it's going to the graveyard because it doesn't affect the monsters, it affects the card. So it's a good way to get rid of pesky cards, but also good for this deck because we like being face down. 2 Teekaboos. We all know what it does. This deck, almost every monster is a different kind of monster, so Teekaboo does very little against the deck. You can have all of your Subterrors on the field at once and it won't matter. Ice Dragon's Prison. It's just nice to be able to steal a card out of the opponent's graveyard and banish if you can. Otherwise, you just steal a big creature and sit on it. And then the last trap that I run, the last 2 cards of the main deck, 2 Waking the Dragons. It's just, you'll see why. People like to run back row hate, then they learn not to run back row hate. So let's go on to the extra deck. At which point we'll start off with, I guess we'll start off with most of the Waking the Dragon targets. First one, Raid Raptor Ultimate Falcon. He's a towers, 3,500 attack. A lot of decks can't run him over. A lot of people have just scooped because they don't have an answer to him. From there, Cyphereme Lord Omega. It's a good hand rip. It's just a good target. Sword Soul Sovereign Keeksing Longwan. I don't know, this one was just a kind of a spur of the moment throw in there for it because they activate a spell or trap. Okay, cool. Banish that, take 1,200 damage. Oh, you special summon a monster. Banish that, take 1,200 damage. It's the only Sword Soul card I'll probably ever play also. Totally awesome. It's Toads. Like, why wouldn't you run the Toad? From there, most of this is, I did run a Prosperity, so most of this was Prosperity targets, so, but also things that this deck can go into. Got Asa the Earth Charmer. Subterrors are Earth monsters, so it's great, and I've actually used it for its actual abilities against trap tricks because they're also Earth. Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon. It's just 2 level 4s. The deck has a few of those. Relinquished Anima. You can summon him out with the Fiendus. Steal a monster if there's anything pointing to. Most people don't usually play into that anymore. I got 2 Nightmare Phoenixes. I don't know why. I probably just threw one in there when I was rebuilding the deck a couple weeks ago and just didn't really pay attention. It's Phoenix. We know what he do. Then I got 3 Ints, Dogmatica Punishment, or anything else that might send it to the graveyard. Give me a free pop. And obviously they're the beautiful gold rares on this one because she looks best in gold. Then I got my Super Poly targets. Garura. He's the newest Super Poly target. Dang well needed. Mud Dragon of the Swamp. He's not as good as Garura, but he's got his niche. And then Predaplant Trifle Veritum. I've seen people put 3 or more on the board. He's just disgusting. He prevents special summon from the extra deck once per turn, and yeah, I mean, if you play in that Predaplant deck, he'll summon himself back. I do have a side deck for this. So my side deck consists of a Crossout, good for hand traps. Harpy's Feather Duster, just in case I end up going against a heavy back row kind of deck, I can wipe it out. A Lightning Storm, because it's Lightning Storm, why not? Actually might have more in there. Oh, I didn't sort through this yet. Dogmatica Nexus, very niche, really great against the branded matchups, because they will get so many extra deck monsters in the graveyard. He just banish 4 from the graveyards and summon him, and then he just wipes everything off the field. And he's got a big body. Skullmeister, it's just Ghost Bell, but for anything that happens in the graveyard. Twin Twisters, we know what it do. We know what it do. Next, I got another Miradora. I'll throw this in depending on the matchup I'm going against. Ghost Ogre because it's Ghost Ogre. We know what she do. Got 2 more Sol and Lunas. Then I got Angel Statue Azaroon. It's kind of niche. It does a good job. It summons itself, and then if the opponent would special summon a monster while it's in the monster zone, you attribute it or another trap monster essentially to negate that summon and to destroy it. And then if it's destroyed by battle, you destroy the card that destroyed it. Oh, another Skullmeister. Solemn Strike, Lord of the Heavenly Prison, and Nibiru. And that is the end of the side deck I have there. That'd probably be the end of this. I'm probably going to do some editing to it because some of these cards probably don't belong at this point. I'm finding new things all the time. But yeah, that's the deck profile. It's a very fun deck. Really controlling, but also at the same time with the final battles, you can just give them a beat down, and you know, if they want to play into the Waking of the Dragon, that's on them. I hope you guys enjoy this deck profile. If you care to ask questions or anything like that, go on ahead, and I hope you all have a great day. Thank you.